You know him pretty well, or
Yeah,
just so-so?
Just so-so.
Yeah.
Not really. I wouldn't really say it's more friend.
Patterson really had not been running with Gimlin too long before the film was taken.
No. As far as I know, that's the only time I saw Bob until after, well, last few years I saw him. Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't see him for all those years?
No.
He just came to town with Roger right after the filming.
That time he was here with him that night.
And he was kind of as a much younger man, of course, but he was kind of subdued.
Well, yeah, I think he just kind of stood back. It was in the background.
Probably wondering what the heck. I mean, this is a guy that didn't even think about Bigfoot much.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, but he was. But Roger was the driving force, you might say, and he was doing all the talking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a piece of history. You're a part of it for just having been there.
I couldn't believe it.
Well, you saw their faces, look into their eyes, and those people are gone, and no one else can do that anymore. You know.
A lady just the other day, well, a couple of weeks ago, up here, moved in up the hill here, and I stopped and talked to her just a little bit. And she said, "You're famous." I said, "Oh, come on now," but I mean, there's so many people know me. They think, "Oh yeah, he's famous, but he's great because he's." Like this one lady that worked with us on the symposium, she said Al's a Bigfoot expert by default, just because he was here.
You know, I know two guys where I work, and they got in a fight. And they laid one guy off for 30 days, and they laid the other guy off for 10 days for being hit. He didn't even pass a lick. The guy hit him, he hit the floor, he got 10 days, the other guy got 30 days.
What are the cause and effect there, see?
Just for being a part of the fight, which I mean, just in the way of the fist.
Yeah.
He's accomplice to his own crime.
I guess so. So I guess sometimes, you know, you're associated with the event because.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like this year, they want me to, and I'm going to do it. Be grand marshal with the parade at the Bigfoot days. I'm really reluctant to do it, but like this, well, you're the only one. Okay.
What color fursuit you gonna wear?
I don't know. No fursuit. I'm not about to do anything that tends to lead to something that looks like they're faking something.
There you go.
I'm not waiting too long. I want the real story. I don't want nothing
That's
that's
right.
nothing that's
patched
up or Hollywooded up or none of that stuff.
No, not at all. No.
I want the real article out there.
I'll ride in the car and I'll talk to him maybe, but that's the extent of it. I'm not going to wear a fursuit or anything else.
Well, it better not to be called Hieronymus.
Yeah.
Al, I talked to Peter Byrne about that photo, and he gave me permission to use it. I understand that the TV Land is a company where it's going to be shown. Mm-hmm. It said it's going to be put off until October. The show that they were working on.
Mm-hmm. What's it called?
It's going to be TV's Land's Myths and Legends, and they're going to have Bob Hieronymus on there, and they're going to have me on there. Of course, we weren't together, but I'm going to be pro film. He's going to be pro hoax. Yeah, and I don't know what they've asked him or gotten from him, but I showed them some mighty good stuff, and it just depends on how TV people are.
Well, what really gripes me, I worked pretty hard to try and get the National Geographic to do a good job here, but they want to sell film. They want to make money. They didn't want to tell the truth.
Well, they're not the same National Geographic they used to be. So, unfortunately,
I wasn't aware of that at that time, by the way.
They don't want you to know the truth. That's the truth.
I think they do some pretty good stuff. They on some things, but when it comes to things like that, they don't. It's hard to do investigative work. It's exhaustive. It's a thankless task, and they'd rather have just people come to them and tell them, like Hieronymus says, "Yeah, I did it," and then they go over here, "No, he didn't." "Yeah, I did." "No, he didn't." And that's they don't ask anybody any questions. If an investigator if Hieronymus said, "I wore the suit," he would say, "Where did you get the suit? How was the suit made? Yeah. Can I talk to the person who sold it to you?" Or but it's just, oh, you did? Okay, we got you on film, and let's go, over here and talk to this guy.
Yeah, I agree with you, what you're saying.
So we're not really, in the process of doing that, you can skip over some mighty important points.
Well, I've got a lifetime, you might say that, of investigating on my own. I didn't join the big community until 2001. 2001, I didn't join it, and I was doing it for many, many years prior to that on my own, and researching big time, full like I am now, pretty much, even more. And I kept close notes and everything else. But I'll probably die in a few years without ever being even investigated what I did by anybody important. They think they're important, and they'll never be done because there's no pseudo-intellectual out there or anybody in academics who even have any confidence in mavericks whatsoever who may have the answers to many things. And this book proves that too. This guy here, I'm sure that the academics wouldn't even.
He did a good job on that.
It's a wonderful job, and what he has here, just what I've seen of it, is beyond reproach. Any mistake in there is an honest mistake, and it's not necessarily me to say that, but I mean, just know what I'm saying.
Well,
If it is one.
the proof's in the pudding on
Yeah.
things like that. That's the pudding.
And this is a great, great production. And there's others out there very good done too.
I hope he does another one. I'm planning to buy that and anything else he buys, he makes.
Well, he's
It's $20 a back.
he's done some of the best work I've seen, as far as I'm concerned.
This cast right here, that alone, will match my cast, some of mine, and also Bayanov, Dmitry Bayanov's cast in Russia. That is he must have chose that for a reason, but it's very, the heels to me is most important. I just a month ago went up to Oregon to a museum and took a facsimile takeoff a cast that belonged to a person in the 1800s. They called Bigfoot, of course, it was a nickname. It was a man named Star Wilkerson.
Really big guy.
And he was said to have been killed and wounded in the knee, and he was. He was shot, I think it was 24 times to kill him. He sunk his hatchet into the guy killing him before he died. He was also a Siwash Indian, which meant in those days a person with no tribe who was a renegade, had a band of 30 men. He butchered many people. But he was so big a man in stature, he couldn't ride a horse. He had horses, he led them by the lead rope with his supplies and stuff. But Star was, the names are interesting too. Star Wilkerson. They don't know where he got the name Wilkerson from. I don't know yet. I may find out, but no one seems to know. But he was possibly the same ilk, or similar to these guys here, running wild in the west up there in Oregon and Idaho and Montana.
Well, you never know, but
That's an interesting story though. But his foot, what I'm saying was, his foot measurements in the heel proportions and overall, I wrote them down ahead of time before I even got there. What they might be, I was off a half inch. And his moccasins.
before you got where?
To the museum.
The museum you went to where
I wrote it down prior.
they had a statue of him.
They still got it.
Yeah.
And I measured his calves here. I'm a runt, of course. He's bigger man than me on the calves, but his calves are still meager compared to his. His were 22.5 inches around here. And this was a facsimile cast. Supposed to have been done from life take measurements at the time. I'm not sure it was. But it sure is interesting that we come that close on the foot, though.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what the thing is on the film again. Is there anything about the subject of the film that disqualifies it from being a human? And the answer would have to be no, because there are examples of hairy people. There are examples of broad-shouldered people. There are examples. See, that's why I say, if you're trying to make a conclusive definition, you can't really say it's not a human because there's nothing on the film.
Well, you until you have a specimen, you know supposition.
Right.
It'd be a shame to kill one to prove they're alive.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
It's so human to me, it's so close to that.
Isn't it a quandary?
Yeah. This guy, the first thing when I first met him, he said, well, what we want to do is protect them. And I just laughed. I said, I think they're doing a pretty good job with themselves.
Yeah.
I don't think they need protection.